Joining me now, though, is legendary journalist Bob Woodward, associate editor at The Washington Post. His new book, War, offers gripping, behind-the-scenes reporting, never-before-told stories on how the Biden administration's attempts to contain the crisis in the Middle East and the war in Ukraine had fallen on deaf ears. The dire warnings about Donald Trump from former Joint Chiefs Chair Mike Milley. Welcome, Bob. Congratulations on this extraordinary book. I want to go through a number of these elements, of these quotes that you have from people. First of all, you describe President Biden fuming about Prime Minister Netanyahu in the spring to a close associate. You quote him saying that son of a B, deleted word, Bibi Netanyahu, he's a bad guy. He's a bad effing guy. He doesn't give a bleep about Hamas. He gives a bleep only about himself. I'm cleaning this up. It goes to the question raised by critics. You know, how can these two men agree on a temporary ceasefire? Their relationship is poisonous at this point.
Yes, well, there's deep hostility between them, but they're allies, right. United States and Israel, and so the personal relations get set aside. But I was able to get some descriptions of this, and you see how emotional, how intense it is. So emotional and so intense, it affects the relationship between the two individuals and the two countries.
And right now, it seems as though Blinken, and he's leaving in a couple of hours, I'll be on that plane, he's going into the worst possible situation because Israel is poised to attack Iran, we believe, and is still attacking Gaza, even after President Biden last week said, this is the time. You've got Sinwar. You've accomplished your goals, something Israel's defense minister has also said.
Yes, and what's important to understand about the Biden administration, they are trying to lower the violence. Time and time again, you see in this behind-the-scenes reporting and also in the open, the concern about humanitarian suffering. It just, what's happened in the Middle East is so bloody, so violent, and to the credit of the Biden administration, they actively are saying, you know, this is crazy.
And it's, of course, the criticism within the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris dealing with this right now, that there are many people, especially in Michigan, the uncommitted voters, the Arab and Muslim communities there, feeling that, and college campuses, that he hung on to Netanyahu too long. Some of his own people probably believing that. Secretary Blinken, you describe him as exhausted by this process. He's 11 trips at a time when, he was carrying the ball back and forth, going to all of these countries, 2 countries a day. Once we were in 4 countries a day, and it's going to be like that potentially on this trip as well. How can he continue? Does the U.S. look weak because we're not persuading Netanyahu?
Well, Netanyahu, as we know, is his own master. He always says, if you're weak in the Middle East, you're roadkill. And he does not want to be weak. He does not want to be roadkill.
And he was after October 7th because of how badly surprised they were. Let me ask you about...
Yes, that's that intelligence failure. No one has really gotten their arms around fully.
Netanyahu has not allowed any investigations internally in Israel until the war is over, and the war has not been over. Donald Trump playing such a role in this. You report exclusively on the repeated calls, and I was told just the week before last, or 2 weeks ago, another call to Netanyahu from Trump, but repeated calls to Putin. So he is very engaged in foreign policy, and publicly saying to Netanyahu, go all the way, go big, get this over with, but do it big. He said that on the record at their last meeting.
Yes, and of course that's Trump's posture always. Be tough, and the impact on our country and those relations, he, quite frankly, poisons it.
You have exclusive reporting on things that Arab leaders have said at various times to Blinken and others. The Egyptian, Kamal, the Egyptian intelligence chief, talking about how, should chop off their heads. You have quotes from a number of people in the book just going after him from all of these Arab countries. It indicates that the opening is there. They wanted these terrorists killed also, and the Saudis still want to do a deal with Israel, but now what's happened in Gaza and now Lebanon has put them on their back feet so that they have to demand more pathway to peace for the Palestinians. They can't go against the populations of all these countries.
And there's so much that goes behind the scenes. I have some more notes here just to be. This is from July of this year, just a couple of months ago. This is when Israel took out Hezbollah's top military commander. Biden calls Netanyahu and says, "Bibi, in Beirut, you're extending the war," and of course, trying to limit the war. And then finally, a couple of hours later, when a Hamas leader is killed at the inauguration in Tehran. I mean, here is Bibi saying, kind of getting this, or I'm sorry, Biden getting it exactly right. And he says, quote, "The perception of Israel around the world increasingly is that you are a rogue state."
This is new reporting that is since the book published.
No, this is in the book. This is
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yes, and what Netanyahu says, of course, this is his philosophy: the harder you hit, the more successful you're going to be in negotiations. So it's...
Let me talk to you also about what we're hearing today about retaliation from Trump against his enemies, the enemies within, and what he said about Mark Milley,
yes,
which you reported in the book, the Joint Chiefs Chairman. This was him threatening Mark Milley and talking about Mark Milley.
Well, of course, Milley had his say, saying that Trump is the most dangerous person ever, a fascist to the core. Now, this is a respected former military general who was the top person who dealt with Trump, and he says he is a fascist to the core and the most dangerous person. Now, this man, Donald Trump, is running for president again. You don't have to accept Milley's judgment as final, but it's based on experience with Trump and experience in the military.
And he said publicly that he thought that Milley should be exterminated. He said that at a rally.
Yes, yeah.
So, well,
but this violent talk is not in isolation. Lots of violence out there, something to worry about it. And if you're going to have political figures like Trump stoking it in this way, and if I may say, having spent years on Trump, spent a year talking to him his last year as president during the year of COVID, and if you look at that record, it is the most pathetic record on dealing with a major pandemic where he was warned. And I kept talking to him and say, Dr. Fauci says this. If you talk to Dr. Fauci, and Trump is saying, well, we're a busy White House. We don't have time to talk to Fauci. Now, this is a situation like the house is on fire. Oh, let's wait to call the fire department. You call in, and you don't have to accept everything Fauci says, but at least listen. It is the off switch in Donald Trump that is part of this tragedy.
Bob Woodward, the book is War. Thank you very much.
Thank you.